Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Najaa Atutujani. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the change of name of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. It will now be known as the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Justin Bem-Onyi reports.
Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, who confirmed this approval, made it clear that the change became necessary for the ministry to efficiently use science, technology and innovation to catalyze Nigeria's economic growth and competitiveness. He says the development will aid the ministry bring about a shift in research and development that is industry and services demand driven. This will ultimately result in rapid commercialization and improved global competitiveness ranking of Nigeria.
We need to prepare for this century and the century that is coming. The major implication is that research and development in the country will not only solve the problems that they used to solve in the past, but we have to go further and ensure that they respond to the needs of industry and also our needs both in our homes and in our offices.
The approval of the change of name, he affirmed, will be gazetted to enable legal and policy frameworks as backup for institutional and organizational arrangements, effective coordination of the national system of innovation, development of appropriate work programs, and job descriptions. Justin Bem-Onyi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 3 doctors have been banned from practicing in Nigeria for professional misconduct, and their names have been erased from the register of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. The Medical and Dental Practitioners Disciplinary Tribunal took the decision at the end of its 8th session for the period 2019 to 2021. Habiba Oladipo has details.
The decision was taken after the Medical and Dental Practitioners Disciplinary Tribunal tried doctors from across the country and found them guilty of professional misconduct. Out of the 38 cases brought before the tribunal, 3 doctors had their names erased from the medical register, banning them from practicing in Nigeria. 12 doctors were asked to embark on suspension ranging from 3 to 6 months and 1 year.
The tribunal has also found the following doctors guilty of misconduct with professional respect and suspended them from practice for periods stated against their names.
Chairman of the tribunal, Professor Abba Waziri Hassan, explains that the doctors whose names were erased can still be considered after some consultations.
They will apply to the tribunal, and then they will be given a letter to an institution where they will be assigned for under particular consultants.
The tribunal also convicted and admonished 5 doctors. 10 were discharged and acquitted, while 5 doctors had their cases struck out after investigations. In Abuja, Habiba Oladipo, NTA News.
The generation and distribution value chain of the power sector is in private hands, but in between is transmission, managed by the government, and here lies the challenge of inadequate substations, leading to low voltage and poor supply. However, the federal government is rising to the challenge through financial intervention as the Federal Executive Council again approves the construction of 2 power substations to boost electricity supply in the country. Joshua Ojitu reports.
Nigeria's power sector records show it is grappling with the challenge of old transmission lines and inadequate distribution substations, with customers bearing the brunt of poor supply. But federal government has stepped in again to boost electricity supply. In the midst of many competing national needs, the sector received attention of the Federal Executive Council for the 3rd time in a year. 2 substations of 2 by 60 MV and 2 by 30 MV approved for construction in Ibom in Akwa Ibom State, and that of Gagarawa in Jigawa State already completed.
6 local governments and an industrial area sited around Gagarawa. We are expecting to have about 50 industries as time goes on because of the power availability now.
The government is doing everything possible to deliver on power sector. As you are aware, Mr. President has big interest in the power sector that he is going to deliver, and God willing, he is going to make it possible before the end of this administration.
There are expectations among industry players and customers that federal government ongoing investments in the sector will translate to longer period of brightness of the bulbs nationwide. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Nigerian Labour Congress says reported slash of domestic gas prices for electricity generation and its lack of noticeable impact or reduction of electricity tariff is not acceptable. The Congress was reacting to a statement attributed to the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, at the August 2nd, 2021 Gas Stakeholders Forum in Kano, where he reportedly announced that the federal government had approved the reduction of domestic gas prices for electricity generation from $2.50 to $2.18 per standard cubic feet. The NLC President Ayuba Wappa notes that the February 2021 agreement between the federal government and organized labor was on the reduction in the cost of gas sold to generating companies to $1.50 international rate as against the $2.50 per standard cubic feet domestic rate in Nigeria. Congress therefore demands that federal government reduce the pricing of domestic gas supply to GenCos to less than $1.50 per SCF, while payment for gas by GenCos should be denominated in Naira, and wants government to respect the agreement it reached with labor on electricity tariff to reduce tariffs by 15 Naira per kilowatt per hour by December 2021 as contained in the agreement. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has charged the new Iranian president to sustain Iran's steadfast commitment to OPEC Plus, and the Declaration of Cooperation, DOC. The OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo says OPEC will welcome contributions from President Ibrahim Raisi's administration in pursuit of the mutually beneficial goal of sustaining oil market stability. He congratulates the new president of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, on his electoral victory and assumption of the country's political leadership. The OPEC chairman says OPEC's role on controlling supply and stabilization in the global petroleum market will receive a boost with the country's support, and reminds the president of Iran's vital position in the OPEC scheme of things since inception, urging him to step into the role in his country and also in OPEC. The Nigerian Army Resource Center is developing a comprehensive blueprint for non-kinetic approach to support ongoing efforts at stemming criminality across the country. This is the focus of the Strategic and Policy Studies Course 3 for senior military officers, heads of security agencies, and relevant ministries and departments. The one-year program is aimed at enhancing knowledge, skills, and competence of participants to effectively proffer workable policies, manage human and material resources in simple and complex organizations.
Need to fill a noticeable gap in the top echelon of senior officers of the Nigerian Army led to the idea of establishing this course.
It also provides research-based non-kinetic solutions to complement ongoing kinetic approach to threats.
This solution through non-kinetic angle, not just using weapons and whatever. Yes, there is a need to use weapons, but other aspects have to come in. And for you to be able to do those other things, you must understand what the policy is, because the policy itself is a constraint. So you must understand the policy, and then you must be able to manage your men.
24 participants have also graduated from the 2021 Strategic and Policy Study Course 3 of the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has stressed the importance of cooperation and synergy among security agencies in the fight against all forms of insecurity in the country. Lieutenant General Yahya made the assertion while on operational tour of Nigerian Army formations and units in Kano State. Dauda Mohammed reports.
The visit of army formations and units in Kano State, which fall under the command of 8th Division of the Nigerian Army, is part of operational tour of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, to assess operational readiness of the various formations as well as have first-hand interaction with the troops on ground. While at the Kano State Government House, the Chief of Army Staff appreciated the state government for the support given to the Nigerian Army and assured that strategies on ground will be sustained to bring an end to security challenges in the state.
Cooperation and synergy with other security agencies and other services that we are doing, and all other stakeholders, including the people authority, where we integrate their knowledge and experience on the ground, which are key to our activities.
Kano State Governor Aminu Bello Masari observed that though rate of security challenges have dropped in recent times, more still needs to be done to reduce the menace.
We want the military to go back to barracks. We wanted the police to assume their responsibility of law enforcement.
The Chief of Army Staff and his entourage were also at the palace of the Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman. The Emir called on the Army Chief to evolve new strategies in the fight against all forms of security challenges in the state. In Katsina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, says its air component has destroyed a bandits camp in an air offensive action against bandits in northwest Nigeria. In a statement by NAF Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gabwet, this was achieved during a 3-day intensive military operation led by the air component of Operation Hadarin Daji, which focused on locations with high concentration of bandits in Zamfara State. Following credible intelligence confirming the mass movement of bandits on motorcycles, bombardment of the camps commenced on the evening of 2nd August 2021 in liaison with ground troops, forming blocking forces around the targeted areas of the forest. Through these coordinated attacks, more than 78 bandits were neutralized and their camps destroyed. In another development, the NAF 404 Force Protection Group stationed in Kaduna on 4 August 2021 arrested a 48-year-old bandit logistics runner named Aminu Saminu around the Kaduna International Airport, who confessed to disguising himself as a charcoal trader. His capture has led to useful information, and citizens are enjoined to keep cooperating with the NAF and sister agencies. And still on security, 56 terrorists and their families have surrendered to troops of Operation Hatlinke in the northeast. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, says the terrorists surrendered their arms along with their families, comprising 18 female adults and 19 children from Chingori and other villages in the Sambisa forest area in Borno State. Brigadier General Onyema notes that more than 100 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists and their families have earlier laid down their arms due to the intensity of joint military operations in the zone. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is partnering the National Orientation Agency to advance the National Social Investment Programs. Ruth Aguele reports that the ministry is also organizing a 2-day training for master trainers from across the country on the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program.
In the last 4 years, the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, GEP, has continued to provide interest-free and collateral-free credit to about 2.3 million beneficiaries who are traders, artisans, enterprise and youth, farmers, and other micro-service providers under its flagship programs, Trader Money, Market Money, and Farmer Money. To further expand its scope and improve on effective implementation, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is training master trainers of the National Orientation Agency as orientation and mobilization officers to address challenges of credit and financial inclusion for the beneficiaries.
Training is expected to educate the master trainers about the newly introduced structure of top-bottom representation from the federal through state and local governments, while engendering the implementation information flow from the bottom to the top.
We just want you to take some small amount of money and be able to improve yourself, but you have to pay.
Building the capacity of the officers to understand the JIP is of critical concern to the NOA boss.
Listen and listen carefully. Do not go back home with any gray area. Wherever you notice a gray area before you depart, ensure that you get it cleared.
At the end of the 2 days training, it is expected that mobilization officers must have equipped themselves with the requisite skills so that the program will not suffer any setback. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NT News.
Similarly, 1,113,000 pupils in Bauchi State are expected to be registered during the ongoing nationwide enumeration of pupils for the homegrown school feeding program. Bulak Afsa reports.
Flagging off the exercise, Special Advisor and Focal Person, Social Investment Program of Bauchi State, Amina Katagum said the enumeration exercise is expected to last for 3 weeks, with a total of 7,538 food vendors and 1,113 pupils to be captured. Team lead from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Gidado Garba Abubakar, said the exercise is to authenticate the number of food vendors and pupils, verify the beneficiaries and service providers.
We've been directed to make sure the children and the vendors that are benefiting from the program be enumerated, as they are going to be captured, so that to ascertain the actual number of beneficiaries of this federal government program.
To capture the data, biometric data of the beneficiaries and the participants, that is those involved in service delivery.
The exercise is in collaboration with National Orientation Agency, National Population Commission, National Youth Service Corps, and National Bureau for Statistics, among others. In Bauchi, Bulak Afsa, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency says it will establish fact-checkers desks in its offices across the nation in collaboration with relevant groups to ensure that knowledge gained by participants at a 3-day capacity-building course for 37,000 fact-checkers nationwide are utilized. These were parting words from the Director General of the agency, Garba Abari, at a ceremony to conclude the program. Kenneth Nanim reports.
We are the ambassadors of
in the last 3 days, these crop of participants, including those that joined virtually, have been well groomed in fact-checking. Now they can beat their chest of having requisite knowledge and skills to identify fake news, hate speech, their sources, as well as possess the techniques for verification and prevention of spread of misinformation on various social media platforms.
So we're taught on the Google reverse imaging, how to check the veracity of information, and we're taught on the Teen Eye. Those were new applications to certain people, on how to go about verifying information before you spread it.
In fact, we're going to step this down to all our staff to ensure that they know how to track fake news and be able to pull it down. And we're going to work in network with all the organizations that are here.
Most people who engage in sending false information do it for a purpose. And mostly those purposes are dubiously inclined. So, of course, if people are aware and they are informed on how to actually check how true these informations are, then it will go ahead and enlighten them.
The Director General of the agency, Garba Abari, is optimistic that action will be sustained on the initiative to achieve more results.
We are actually building a register of fact checkers around the country, and we are going to also go into partnership with bloggers, with online media organizations, with all kinds of people. Do not forget that even before the NOA came out with this idea, there are people, practitioners who have established fact-checking desks, NTA for example, AIT for example, channels for example.
The participants and facilitators as well are on the same page that adequate implementation of the process will check corruption, insecurity, cyber crimes, and other forms of criminality in the country for a better Nigeria. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
We'll now join Kendi in Lagos for more reports.
Transparency in the oil and gas sector is key to achieving the federal government's desire to have a robust and profitable sector. Annie Daniel reports that this was made known by the Director of Operations, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC Lagos, at a stakeholders engagement session.
This visit by officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, led by its Director of Operations, Abdul Karim Chukol, who represented the EFCC chairman, alongside key members of other oil and gas sister agencies, is to acquaint the anti-graft agency with DPR's mode of operations, especially in the areas of hydrocarbon, accounting, and petroleum products monitoring and tracking. Chief Executive Officer, Department of Petroleum Resources, Sarkar Awalu, took the team through extensive presentation of the agency's day-to-day affair, noting that DPR, in its quest to remain an agency to be reckoned with, deployed technology and automation to drive initiatives like the crude oil and LNG tracking system, downstream remote monitoring system, DRMS, among others, to improve transparency in hydrocarbon accounting and product supply and distribution.
What we did is to really get the cultural data, the normal data that we generate, and put it in a way that we put it in a machine and get interactive with all our customers. I mean license holders, permit holders, and approval seekers, so that they utilize and give us back information as needed. And that really helped to generate a lot of data from across the value chain.
The EFCC Director of Operations, Abdul Karim Chukol, applauded the collaboration between DPR and sister agencies, with optimism that it will drive the federal government's desire for a corrupt-free energy sector.
It will assist us in looking at those loopholes and the gaps, and also, in the long run, assist the government.
Meanwhile, filling station operators that are yet to register on the downstream remote monitoring system are advised to do so before the end of the year. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And now to the health sector. Access to antiretroviral therapy has given hope to people living with HIV that there is an increase in the rate of survival. But there is a twist that stands as a threat to this, and this is hypertension. Nigerian Institute of Medical Research is working towards addressing the ugly trend. Inginu John Adams tells us more.
HIV is no longer seen as a death sentence. People living with the disease live healthy lives. But recent studies reveal that they now have higher cardiovascular disease mortality than the general population. This is caused by increased burden of hypertension, and it is a setback in the fight against the virus. A team of medical experts from the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research has commenced a study to change the narrative.
In which there's a regular engagement through WhatsApp, Zoom call.
They are collaborating with the Lagos State government by using 30 primary health care centers for treatment and management plan.
So this study is about how we reduce the burden of hypertension among people living with HIV. And that has to do with how to control their blood pressure, how to control other comorbid factors.
They are collaborating with the Lagos State government by using 30 primary health care centers for treatment and management plan.
We will train them and then continue to facilitate their practices. And at the end of the 12 months, we will check and see how many of those facilities have adopted this good practice.
The outcome of the research at the end of the day will go a long way in improving the health care of the people.
For a smooth process, NIMA management has donated some equipment to the Lagos State government to distribute across the facilities set aside to be used. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We'll take a short break now. The news continues shortly with Susan in Makurdi.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College Jos invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs: new technologies, optical fiber, IP technologies, automation storage management and wireless technology. Date 9th August to 13th August 2021, 1 week. Transmitter operation and maintenance. Date 23rd August to 27th August 2021, 1 week. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing. Date 30th August to 24th September 2021, 4 weeks. Emotional Intelligence for Workplace Efficiency. Date 6th September to 17th September 2021, 2 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 60,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803 079 5335 or 0806 980 9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thank you for joining us in Makurdi. As Nigeria joins the international community to commemorate the World Breastfeeding Week, medical experts have called for enactment of policies that would encourage breastfeeding by nursing mothers in workplaces. In this report, Blessing Omeche Ebute examines the benefits of exclusive breastfeeding.
Exclusive breastfeeding, as the name implies, is a practice whereby an infant within the first 6 months of birth receives only breast milk from the mother. Breast milk, medical experts say, provides optimal nutrition for babies as it is easily digested and is also readily available. It is to promote this practice that the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action, working with the World Health Organization, set aside first week of August annually to highlight the benefits of breastfeeding to both the health and welfare of babies and their mothers.
Exclusive breastfeeding is very, very important for both the child, the mother, the family, and the nation. For the mother, this breast milk makes them come back to their pre-pregnancy size, and it increases the bonding between the child and the mother.
Since I started the breastfeeding and I was advised to do exclusive, and I've been doing it, I noticed that ever since I started, she has never fallen sick. and she's 4 months already.
It is to this end that medical experts are canvassing for breastfeeding-friendly environment in workplaces for mothers and babies so as to promote the practice of exclusive breastfeeding.
Legislation will be helpful, and this is something that the House of Assembly can easily do. The legislate then becomes there's a binding legal document that would encourage all workplaces to put in place this facility.
The theme for the World Breastfeeding Week is Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
The Kano State High Court sitting in Makurdi has struck out the appeal filed by Alhaji Yahya Danjuma Suleiman, challenging his removal as Chief Imam of the Boko Central Mosque by an upper area court in Makurdi. The High Court struck out the appeal for lack of diligent prosecution by the appellant. Judicial correspondent Ode Moses Ajao reports that the case started since 2006.
Following the demise of the chief imam of the Boko Central Mosque, Malam Muhammad Inua, who had appointed Alhaji Yahya Dangiwa Suleiman as acting chief imam, the congregation allowed him to continue in acting capacity. However, when they asked him to step aside for proper election to be conducted, he was alleged to have refused, insisting that the late chief imam before his demise had appointed him. This further prompted Alhaji Baba Maman Jagaba, the Sarkin Hasawa of Boko, alongside 12 others to approach the upper magistrate courts in 2006, seeking an order restraining Alhaji Yahya Dangiwa Suleiman from parading himself as chief imam of Boko Mosque. In a judgment delivered in 2011, the magistrate at the upper area court 2, Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim, agreed with the submission of the plaintiff and ordered the defendant to step aside, pending the conduct of elections for the position of chief imam of the Boko Mosque. Not satisfied with the decision of the upper area court, Alhaji Yahya Dangiwa Suleiman appealed the decision, praying the court to set aside the judgment for lacking in merit. In a joint judgment delivered by Justice Teresa Igoche and Justice Augustine Itioima, the Benue High Court struck out the appeal, saying since the counsel to the appellant E.N. Tunsha had appealed for withdrawal, it had been overtaken by events. The High Court therefore struck out the appeal.
Because the court was very unequivocal. The position is vacant. He is to vacate it, and then the proper election held by the ulamas and elders of that mosque to fill it, which if he wants and if he is qualified to come and contest.
The decision of the appeal court brings to an end the 15-year tussle over the position of the chief imam of the Boko Central Mosque. In Makurdi, Ode Moses Ajao, NTA News.
That does it from Makurdi. It's back to Naja'atu in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education and Services says collaboration among stakeholders is key in promoting excellence and curbing examination malpractice. Monitoring the ongoing National Examinations Council NECO exams, the committee says it will work with all concerned to ensure timely provision of materials and that scheduling is convenient.
It's an ongoing assignment with the ministry, with the examination bodies, WAEC, NECO, NAPTEB, and then the House Committee on Basic Education. We've always been collaborating and we'll continue to do that to make things easy.
On its part, the Ministry of Education confirms that examination malpractices have been reduced. This came from the Permanent Secretary, who spoke to the media shortly after monitoring the exams in the FCT and reception of reports of the conduct of the exams nationwide.
We are also pleased with the measures that have been taken to curtail incidences of exam malpractices, which has been the concern in the recent past, and ensure that the integrity and the credibility of our exams are upheld, and that is what we are seeing across the country.
About 1.3 million candidates are sitting for the examination. The Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu, has granted scholarship to 650 students as he reaffirms his commitment to improving school enrollment in Nigeria as part of his contribution to nation building. He stated this while briefing NTA News on the additional scholarship through his foundation to Nigerian students wishing to study medicine in 12 Nigerian universities for the 2022-2023 academic year.
And I know this is what will benefit education, it will benefit health, it will benefit the entire society. It will also benefit communities, rural communities and not the rest of them. And it will benefit Nigerians. So as a first step, you know, we're already with the Embassy of Venezuela, and we have given 50 people scholarship who are going to Venezuela to do medicine. And the foundation met and decided to do another 650 students, Nigerian students. Also, you realize that since I started sitting in the Senate President, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, have always said that 14 million children are outside there. So we've started where we can, because every time I have private discussion with Dr. Ahmed Lawan, he's disturbed about 14 million children being outside and not being in school.
It's time to link up with Kemi in Ibadan for more reports.
Thank you, Najatu, and welcome to Ibadan. Risk of flood has been on the increase in view of the challenges of climate change. This, however, can be worsened by inappropriate waste disposal methods, especially in flood-prone areas. Kemi Oshi in this report takes a look at effective flood prevention considering recent flood alerts.
Not less than 28 states of the country have been predicted to be at risk of flooding in the recent flood alerts, and cases of flooding are already being reported across the country. One of the major causes of flood identified over the years is poor drainage system and building on waterways. With a history of flood and its attendant socioeconomic effects, Oyo State is taking necessary steps to prevent a reoccurrence of the disaster.
We're equally doing channelization, which has to do with deepening and expanding river courses or riverways. Not only deepening and expanding, we are using concrete pavement for those rivers.
The message, to the very last mile user, the expectations from them to ensure that we are able to prevent flooding, and if it happens, what they should do to ensure that their lives are not jeopardized.
However, poor waste management also contributes to the impact of urban flooding by blocking drainages and waterways. What are the efforts by stakeholders on proper waste management?
When the rain is falling, some of the people will put refuse in the gutter, and it's not good like that.
To stop to put the dustbin or whatever like that inside the river.
With the move by federal governments in line with global action against all unsustainable refuse disposal system, effective collaboration in this area will not only prevent flooding, but ensure environmental health. In Ibadan, Kemi Oshi, NTA News.
Acknowledging the various nutrients in breast milk for babies in their first 6 months of life, stakeholders have lent their voices to the need for mothers to embrace exclusive breastfeeding. Ifeoluwa Moshuli examines the essence of this primary source for healthy babies as the world marks Breastfeeding Week.
World Breastfeeding Week, commemorated every first week in August, encourages breastfeeding for enhanced health of infants. Statistics by the World Health Organization show that 3 in 5 babies are not breastfed in the first hour of life, hence hampering the health of 820,000 children from 0 to 25 months annually. The children could have been saved if optimally fed.
The breast milk contains antibodies, which prevent most of these diseases.
The composition of the breast milk, there are certain content in them that artificial formula can never provide. So when a baby is well breastfed, particularly fully breastfed, their IQ tend to be better and higher.
Religious leaders who are concerned stakeholders encourage mothers to breastfeed their babies.
The milk from the mother, so rich, attested by the Holy Quran and the Hadith.
It is better for woman to feed the child with breast. He will behave normal.
The theme for the year 2021 World Breastfeeding Week seeks to highlight the links among breastfeeding and survival, health, well-being of women, children, and the society. In Ibadan, Ifeolu Omoshile, NTA News.
And that does it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Salamutu in Kaduna after the break. Stay tuned.
A new edition of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and comprehensive. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
The future belongs to those who leverage on digital innovations. Digital Peers International presents DigiTest Online 2021, an online summer camp that brings ages 8 to 18 together across Nigeria, Canada, US, and more countries. Theme: Digital Skills, Pathway to Prosperity. Date: 8 to 16 August 2021. At DigiTest, kids and teens will unearth their potential to create digital products with possibilities of making profits online.
Participation would be virtual with few physical non-residential at the DigiTest Center, Abuja, and we all enjoy a level playing field to compete with students across the globe. Lots of prizes to be won.
Give your kids an opportunity of a lifetime today for only
5,000 Naira for virtual and 20,000 Naira for physical. To register, visit our website at www.digitalpeers.org/DigiTestOnline2021
or call 08077823307 or 08077823308.
For staying tuned and a warm welcome to Kaduna. Towards addressing the death of medical personnel in public health hospitals, Jigawa State government is sponsoring 160 youth to study medicine and surgery in the Republic of Sudan. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that Governor Badaru Abubakar bids farewell to the prospective medical students.
100 females and 60 males were selected from all the 27 local government areas of the state. During the interface, the governor advised the prospective medical students to be good ambassadors of the state and the country at large.
We have improved our medical workers from what we have inherited. In some areas by 50%, in some areas even by 100%. We have been able to achieve at least one health facility per ward and we are going down to locations and hard to reach areas to see how best we can bring healthcare closer to the people.
How you also help your people and your communities to help eradicate any medical problem, any health problem that will come across our people.
Some of the students who spoke to NTN News said they will study hard to justify the confidence reposed in them by the state government.
It's my ambition to be a medical doctor, and this is a great opportunity for me.
This is the second time the Baduro-led administration is sponsoring young citizens in the state to study medicine abroad, as the first batch have already graduated from the Republic of China. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTN News.
Now to issues on local government reforms. For the local government councils in Nigeria to function effectively as the third tier of government, there is need to grant them full autonomy in line with the Executive Order 10 of the President. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun reports that this resonates at a seminar on local government reforms, election and service delivery by Kano State Media Corporation, KSMC.
Critical to governance for service delivery and social well-being of people, especially at the grassroots, is the local government structure. Credible conduct of elections at this tier of government, therefore, remains a catalyst for improved service delivery that will impact the lives of the people at the grassroots. Ahead of the council polls in Kano State and the need to strengthen the resolve for peaceful, fair and credible elections, the Kano State Media Corporation brings together these stakeholders to brainstorm on reforms at the third tier of government.
The corporation prioritizes issues that have to do with people at the grassroots because it prides itself as the grassroots station.
I'm sure some of you are thinking, yes, you postponed elections 3 times. We did. We apologize for that. But we had to, because we are using an electronic device that operates on batteries. Our machines are 4 years old now. So the batteries that came with the machines are 4 years old. I don't know if anybody would have a 4-year-old battery that still works today.
Critical stakeholders echoed the call for states to guarantee the functionality of local government areas.
The Constitution is very, very clear about the functions of local governments in Nigeria. That the issue is, do we allow the local government areas to work as they should?
Kano State Media Corporation says it is poised to keep people abreast with all issues concerning the forthcoming elections slated for next month. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
And Rigachikun's report completes our package from Kaduna. Is back to Najatu in Abuja.
Thank you. And still on active citizenship, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State says Nigeria cannot afford another civil war. This was during the second quarterly public lecture by the All Progressives Congress Press Corps held in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Sustaining Nigeria's unity and galvanizing efforts to inculcate values for national development dominated discussions at this forum, where it was agreed that Nigeria had experienced moments that truly define it as a symbol of unity in the continent.
All right-thinking citizens, irrespective of their tribal and religious inclinations, should bond together to sustain the corporate existence of the most populous and naturally endowed nation in Africa, that is Nigeria. We must shun temptations and anger capable of leading us into more turbulent time.
So any reasonable person who witnessed the Nigerian Biafra war will never preach anything near to war. You won't wish your enemy to go through that. So for those who are not born then, who take delight in pronouncing war, it's not African magic. The thing you stay back and watch.
So there must be this kind of love. Because let me tell you, all the governors are friends. All the ministers are friends.
Discussants were unanimous that advocates of secession should have a change of heart and embraced dialogue as a crucial option for addressing their problems and called for a collective zeal in the project of diversifying the economy, managing out-of-school children, and rebuilding the tertiary institutions to boost knowledge development for 21st century challenges. Chairman APC Press Corps, Jide Oretunsin, said the second quarterly public lecture is aimed at adding value to the debate of national unity. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a new Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court has been appointed. She is Hajo Sarki Bello. Her appointment has been approved by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad. Hajo Sarki Bello's appointment, which will take effect from Monday, 9th August 2021, is in acting capacity. The acting registrar was called to the Nigerian bar in 1990. She takes over from Hadiza Uwani Mustafa, who is retiring from service. The Nigerian Correctional Service is taking steps to enhance safe custody and training of inmates, as well as staff welfare in furtherance of gains of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act 2019. Victor Azu reports.
The appointment in May of Haliru Nababa as Controller General of Corrections comes on the heels of several attacks on custodial facilities in parts of the country. It is therefore not surprising that during his inaugural briefing of management and field officers of the service, he announces security of custodial centers as an area of priority attention.
My policy thrust shall cover self-custody and training of inmates, staff welfare, provision of logistics and infrastructure. The security of our custodial centers must be held sacrosanct and shall be among the top priorities in my administration.
It's a pointer to what direction the service is headed, with capacity building for staff and discipline also featuring prominently during the meeting. It also turns out an opportunity to present athletes who have won laurels for the service in various competitions across the country, with the Nigerian Correctional Service now a full-fledged member of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Let's now join our sports desk for the latest in the world of sports.